Is there a test that my site can use to check the performance of the lamps as they age? By that, I don't know whether you mean an existing live test. We do have live test data available, or whether you're asking if you can run your own test. Obviously, you're more than welcome to trial an area. What I will say is that it's quite common. People with fluorescent lamps will take a UV meter and hold it in front of a fluorescent insect light trap, and basically based on the UV output that the reading is given, they will use that to decide whether or not the lamp is still effective. Regardless of brand, that's really inaccurate, unfortunately, for LED. The reason being is that because LED is individual diodes, now of course we've got the diffusion coating to sort of disperse the UV as best we can, but it's not going to be a truly accurate way of measuring UV output. So definitely I would say that old approach on the fluorescent lamps, I mean, it's arguably a little bit inaccurate with fluorescent anyway, because depending on how far away you're holding the UV meter, you're going to get a different reading, and we would always suggest that you stick to the manufacturer's guidelines in terms of replacing the lamps. So that would be the same for Opti-Catch, but it's even more difficult to get a truly accurate reading on any LED product. What's the best method to get the best breakdown of all models to find the best LED unit or retrofit for you with FlyCatch? I think that would be quite a challenge, Sean, because I don't think, well, not every manufacturer has obviously got a list publicly of which control gear each unit is using. I think the best thing to do is look at what you're using. Whether or not you're using starters is a really good telltale sign at the moment as for whether or not you can retrofit. But of course, if you're ever unsure, I would say it's better to just take a picture of the unit or give us the make and the model number, and either send it to Pelsis or Opti-Catch. We'll be able to advise you from there.
Yeah, we can help with that, certainly. Like I said, I've got a list of units that we supply and manufacture, so we can give that to you. That's available.
What is the status of retrofit LED Opti-Catch for electronically ballasted fixtures? Opti-Catch have a strong intention to develop a full Opti-Catch family. Obviously, each prototype is going to have different sort of technical challenges to overcome, because we would not compromise on catch rate. So at the moment, there is no electronic ballast availability, but do keep checking, because that is something that we would always be looking to develop a full range, not just for different ballast types, but for different lamp types as well. Drew, how should the new LED lamps be disposed of, general waste or recycling? So these lamps are part of the WEEE recycling scheme, just like fluorescent. So arguably the exact same way you would dispose of your fluorescent lamps, you would do the same for these. You've already paid the WEEE recycling fee at the point of purchasing the lamp. So I know some people still get charged for the collection of the lamps, but the actual disposal itself is covered through WEEE, so it would be actually no different, but of course a third of the volume to dispose of, because you're changing every third year. Here, is there any evidence to validate the no more annual replacement? Good question. Absolutely, any decent manufacturer will have lamp specifications that show you the UV maintenance, so that would be no different to what you would normally get on fluorescent. There will be a UV maintenance curve that you can request. Are your products available in India, and if you can clarify how much exact they may be % efficient compared to fluorescent fly catching? Yeah, certainly. So Opti-Catch is indeed available in India via Pelsis, and in terms of the exact percentage, Opti-Catch we did independent lab tests across 8 repetitions against 15-watt fluorescent lamps, and Opti-Catch caught almost 10%, between 9 and 10% more flies in the same conditions in the same period. Where can you buy? You can buy from Pelsis. I don't know exactly where you're based, but there will be a link sent round after this that you can click through to express your interest or purchase directly from the site, depending on where you are. Is Opti-Catch available in Kenya? I'm not 100% sure of the voltage that you operate on in Kenya. I'm assuming it's between 220 and 240. I'm pretty sure it is, in which case, again, you would be able to reach out to Pelsis and buy it. Absolutely, it will be available. John, correct me if I'm wrong on the voltage side.
Not sure about the voltage
No,
over.
I'm pretty sure the voltage is 220, 240, in which case, absolutely no problem at all.
Does this fit with the BRCGS requirements for changing tubes every year? The fact that it's got a 3-year lifespan on it would comply, and it's the fact that it's shatterproof as well means that it's also compatible with those specifications too as well.
Yeah, and I would say as well that obviously Opti-Catch is in partnership with BRCGS. So I would say if you want to be sure that you're compliant with BRCGS standards, the best thing to do would be select a brand that you know is in partnership with BRCGS, because we've taken all food safety into consideration, like John said, with the shatterproof coating. What we've actually done is we've coated to the same criteria as IEC 61549, which is the shatterproof standard for double capped linear fluorescent lamps, and you'll know that you've always been told to look for the black band to check that the product is shatterproof, and we've got the same band on the Opti-Catch lamp, so auditors can see immediately this is a shatterproof product, and it's coated to the same criteria in terms of its shatterproof properties. We have a site pest controller that manages our EFKs, but it would be useful to audit them or verify. Okay. I would say that if you're having your insect, if there's monitoring going on, then that would be something that is quite obvious that your insect control is working, because I would imagine that you're comparing it to the same month last year, for example, and just looking at what you've caught. But John is probably better to answer that.
Yeah, whenever anybody comes in to do a service of any of the units, they should be stipulating whether it's a major or minor service that they're doing. So a minor service is usually glue board or catch tray replacement or emptying, clean down of the unit and testing it. Whereas the major is lamp change. So at the point when they come in to do the lamp change, which is normally around about March, April time, so that you've got that optimum UV output across the summer. Obviously that'll change now with the LED, given that it lasts 3 years. They should be marking down on their treatment report that they have done a lamp change at that point. So you would expect it to happen 3 years from that date. That's your way of auditing and monitoring how often they're being changed.
IP rated units, are there any alternatives or pipeline for these? Will, which wattage are you referring to for the IP rated units? If it's a 15 watt T8, then it should retrofit, providing that the control gear is compatible, of course. But it should fit into the same, because usually on an IP rated unit you'd have some sort of collar grip or something to hold the lamp in place and make sure that there's no ingress risk. So arguably Opti-Catch should fit in no problem, unless I am mistaken.